Alright, tonight we are making spaghetti pie, but we're going to be doing something a little different this time. The kids have been eating a lot more of this, they seem to like it, so we're going to be making 50% more. So the ingredients for spaghetti pie are, of course, this time it's now 12 ounces of thin spaghetti broken into thirds. We now have 9 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese, and we have another 7.5 in the refrigerator for later. We have 4.5 ounces of mini pepperoni. We have 9 fluid ounces, it's 1 1/8 cup milk. We've got 1 pound of turkey sausage. We have 22 ounces by weight of tomato sauce. That was actually the entire jar. The jar said 24 ounces, but when I put it on the food scale, it was only 22 ounces, so they're ripping me off. We got 4.5 tablespoons of butter, and then we have 3/8 cup of flour. So first things first, we gotta cook the spaghetti, which means we are going to go boil some water, put that in for 8 minutes, and then we will check back in for cooking the sausage and pepperoni. All right, and we're back to cook the sausage. Got pasta's gonna be done in a couple minutes. Get the sausage going. Now we got the sausage. Then we've got our rolling, and we just kind of start mashing this up. I've got the heat on like medium. Don't really want to burn it. You just want to kind of give it a nice light cooking, because obviously it's going to be going into the oven for a while. And while we are doing this, we are going to today discuss The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom on Nintendo Switch. Played this one last fall. A friend was asking me about it the other day. I'm like, you know what? That was a good game. I have a bit to say about it, so we'll make a review. So it was the third Zelda game for the Switch. Kind of the second one solely for the Switch. But, you know, Breath of the Wild, everyone considers that one a Switch game, even though technically it was on the Wii U as well. I guess you could actually call it the fourth, too, if you count the Skyward Sword remake. But, yeah, it was a very good game. It was the first Zelda game that kind of really struck a good balance between the open world nature of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and the more classic good Zeldas that, you know, had character progression and such. And you know, Breath of the Wild, it did do a lot of things wrong, but some of the things it did right were kind of the physics engine, physics interactions, and just like the fact you could just go anywhere in the world. Like, you could just climb over and get to anything. And so you could see that Echoes of Wisdom kind of built on that, right? There's a bunch of different echoes you can get, you know, you can capture things, and they all just kind of, like, interact, right? You can capture, you know, a bird, and then you can capture a piece of meat, and then you can drop the meat down on the ground and summon the bird, and the bird will fly over to the meat. But if you tether yourself to the bird, then you'll get dragged towards the meat. Then, if you tether yourself to the bird and hold the meat out in front of you, hold the meat, the bird will fly to it and push you into the air. And you've just created a flying machine. And, you know, it's stuff like that, right? And you can actually use that flying machine, too, to get to Heber Mountain early. Heber Mountain being kind of like... So the map itself is derived from the Link to the Past Super Nintendo map, but, like, expanded. So you can see what's beyond the edge of the map. So, like, they added Heber Mountain, they added, like, the far end wetlands, the swamp down there. Death Mountain did get slightly moved. Yeah. But, yeah. I guess it's the map, right? The map is open. You can go pretty much anywhere right away, especially... Oh, just a second. Pasta is done. Pause that thought. set that in here for now. So yeah, you can go pretty much anywhere on the map right away, especially if you're creative with your echoes. But unlike Breath of the Wild, where the map is flat and it doesn't matter where you go, in Echoes of Wisdom, if you go to like the edge of the map, there's just harder, stronger enemies there, and they will just one-shot you. And I really like that, especially because if you're creative with your echoes, you can get some of those like higher level echoes early. Now, at the same time, because the game does have progression, you can't necessarily use them, right? Like, you get a 5 triangle echo early. Triangles are kind of like your MP bar. You can't use it if you only have 4 triangles so far, but you can still have it ready to go for when you get it. But even some of like the 4 ones you get early can help out, especially like the more rare ones. And the other thing I really like too is the dungeon progression, right? So again, Breath of the Wild, you do that first Divine Beast dungeon, you're like, wow, this is mind-blowing, this is amazing, this is such a great Zelda dungeon. Then you do the second one, you're like, oh, it's another one just like the first one. Then you do the third one, you're like, oh, it's another one just like the first one. And you realize that because they can be approached in any order, they're all kind of designed to be the first dungeon, and they can never really build on what they teach you. Echoes of Wisdom does not do this. It gives you the first dungeon, actually it gives you the tutorial dungeon, then it gives you the first dungeon, then it unlocks 2 more. You can do them in either order. So it keeps that like open world nature if you can go anywhere, but because they know that by this point you've already done like a tutorial dungeon and a first dungeon, they can build on it and give you some harder challenges. After you've done those 2, it gives you kind of like this, like a full dungeon, but it's enough there, you know, to, again, build on what you've done. Then you get to the last 3 dungeons, and by this point, they know you've done a lot. They know that they can throw stuff hard. They can throw hard stuff at you because you can be expected to have mastered it, right? And yeah, just works an exit. We are going to. Just about ready. We're gonna go mix this into the pasta, and then we will come back to make the cheese sauce. But we're actually gonna pause this for a moment, let this cook for about maybe another minute or 2. All right, and we're back to make the cheese sauce. First things first, we put the butter in there. It's on low because we just want it to melt. We don't want it to burn. Yes, this is the same skillet that we made the meat in, so it's already pre-greased. After this melts, we're gonna add the flour, the milk, and the big cheese, the 9 ounces, and then we're gonna stir it up. While that's happening, we're gonna keep talking about Zelda. So there is the sword mode, right? So in the first full dungeon, you get the sword power up. Oh, that's another thing too, right? There's like actual character progression. You get things in dungeons again. But so you get the sword power up, which lets you temporarily transform into basically Link. Plays Link during the tutorial. And when I first got this, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what happened here, right? They sold the games like you're playing a Zelda, but then you're just going to get the sword power up and play through the whole game with the sword. But no, it does a really good balance, good job of like striking a balance between like, oh, use the sword for this, or you can use these echo powers for stuff. In fact, some of the echo powers are really crazy broken, to the point where like this game has a lot of replayability. You could choose to do like a low echo run, you could choose to do it, I'm only going to use certain echoes, you can try to do like speed runs. Like, this is a game where you can play through it a lot, and it can be played completely different each time you play it. There's actually even a fun glitch, at least in the 1.0 version, I don't know if it got patched out or not, where you can, similar to how you could get the Master Sword from the tutorial in Tears of the Kingdom into the main game, then keep it, you can get Link into the main game, the Link from the tutorial, to just play as Link. Unfortunately, at least as of the last time I checked, it's not possible to beat the game doing this, because there are some dungeons that require echoes. So if you do this, you really just soft lock yourself. But it is fun to just, you know, play. Just a second. Add the flour. Add the milk. Yeah, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, good, fun game. If you have a Switch, play it. If you don't have a Switch, yeah, don't bother playing it then, because obviously you don't have it, I guess, I don't know, pirate it or something. Yeah. On a scale of gets my goat to gets my guy, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom gets my guy. Highly recommend it. Okay, let's go get the cheese. So yeah, this is going to melt, and then we're going to go mix this in with the tomato sauce, the pasta, and the meat. And then we are going to cover it with foil and bake it for 40 minutes. The oven is preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Turn the heat up a little bit, just a mix. And it's gonna have to mix for a few minutes so we can check back in for that. All right, the cheese sauce is nearly done. I figured to show off that basically once it's ready, you can tell it's kind of starting to thicken into almost like a quite a hardened, but like it's no longer watery, right? Like it's got that thickness about it. Yeah, it's perfect. So we are going to go add this into the pasta and meat and sauce and stir it all. Alright. Set that there for now. It's already been stirred. We're just going to put that in there. Set that there. Let's get cheese sauce in before it's perfect. Yeah, assuming it's cooked well, it'll just kind of slide right off into a big glop like that. And then basically just have to stir it together. And this part will take probably like 10 minutes actually. It takes a while. So we'll check back in for the finished product, but we're just going to be stirring this until it's a big orange goopy mess. Stir that. Alright, the pasta has a nice good even distribution of sauce, meat, everything's nice and mixed. So we're going to burn our hand by touching the bottom. We're going to get it into the 9x13 baking dish. This is the deep one, since we're making the big spaghetti pie tonight. There we go. Put you over here for now. We're just gonna smooth this out. Remember, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna bake it for 40 minutes. Then we're gonna take it out, and the 7.5 ounces of shredded mozzarella that we saved, we're then gonna coat the top, put it back in for another like 7-8 minutes for the cheese to melt and not burn. And then we're going to take it out, let it cool a little bit, and it'll be ready. So we will check back in for that. We might check. No, we'll check back in for putting the cheese on it, unless I'm busy getting the kitchen ready. Looks good. Put you there. Cover you up. All right, let's go cook this for 40 minutes. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if I said that earlier. All right, and we're back. Pasta cooked for 40 minutes. We're gonna sprinkle the cheese on. The oven's still on at 350. Spaghetti pie, Grant. Okay, Grant, you can have some spaghetti pie. Put a nice even layer on. You can get 2 dinners. Yes, Grant. No, that's not an even layer. All right, whatever. Nice and even. Alright, it's going to take another 7 minutes. We're not going to recover it this time. Just another 7 minutes, and then we're going to let it cool, and we will check back in for the finished product in a second. Alright, let's pop this back in the oven for 7 minutes. Alright, and we're back. Spaghetti pie is done. Been had a chance to cool. Been divvied out to everyone. Now we're going to give it the taste test. Oh man. It's still hot too, but that's good. Grant, what do you think?
Bad.
Bad?
How dare you say that? Because it's hot.
Oh, because it's hot. But it tastes good, right? Alright. George, what do you think?
I can't taste it. Too hot.
Alright.
I could go. Love this.
Yeah, this is great.
Alright.
Alright.
Tastes good. Tastes good.
Alright. That's good. We're
Bye.
done here.